Mr. Jain, just a couple of questions. Once you said you are an optimist and a long-term investor. Tell us what are the 3 or 4 big risks, to this market rally in the short to medium term. I mean, what could bring down the market rally?
One is that supposing that this virus mutates and gets another deadly form, like the way it's happening in UK today. Nobody expected that the country will have a much stricter lockdown and a much worse second wave, and it happened. Even when the vaccination. So UK is the country where vaccination was the first to start with vaccination, but so that can be a big risk to the market if suddenly it comes back in a new form and starts spreading like wildfire. So that is one. Two, this escalation on the border with the China, if this gets into a war or a things which is far more violent or military, then obviously market can get really worried. Three, the geopolitical, the China, US, and I don't know. Sometimes these things can aggravate and go to a level that it becomes a war, or things much worse in terms for the global trade and the global geopolitical situation. That also can be another risk that we should keep at the back of our mind. And then hopefully locally also, politically, if things go out of, I mean, unlikely to go out of control, but so I think these are the key major risks that one should bear at the back of your mind.
So you did mention about India receiving disproportionately large inflows, and you said that it looks like these inflows will continue in 2021. If suppose there's a withdrawal, and I'm sure one day this withdrawal will happen, what kind of correction we can say? I mean, 5%, 10%.
So it will depend on at what stage this trigger event happens. So right today, Nifty is 14,500, 15,000, or Sensex is around 49. So if it happens now, it happens. So the higher the altitude, higher the correction. Okay. So if this happens, let's say when the indices are surged by further 20%, 60,000, then the risk is even higher. So it's very difficult to say that how much will be the correction, but then again, it depends on what is the trigger for the correction, how strong is the trigger. If it's just that market is correcting for the sake of correcting because is people are fearing about bubble, or is just gone up too fast, it may be 5, 7, 10%. But if there's a serious event which can threaten the reversal, it can be much bigger correction.
I said one last question. You said about the strong inflows and how it is helping in creating large foreign exchange reserves. But these inflows also cost RBI in terms of they're very low yielding these foreign currency assets. In the past, I remember during YV Reddy days, even he considered putting a tax on this FI. If this inflows continues, because we have adequate level of foreign exchange reserve today, covering almost 10, 12 months of import. But if this continues in the entire 2021 and the way these inflows are coming, do you see, or are you expecting some sort of a policy action restricting, discouraging these inflows, or should we do that?
Unlikely, because India, once passed through a very, very precarious financial foreign exchange reserves. So it is very, very unlikely that we'll ever have, the thought or, to sort of curb it, because that the pendulum can swing from one end to another and you can get into a far more difficult situation. Having too much foreign exchange is less a problem as compared to too little. But what they can do is, if they allow the currency to appreciate a little bit against dollar, that itself can control the flow. And government can also take advantage of this and allow huge infrastructure projects and the capex with this foreign exchange, so that we basically take advantage of this and give thrust and impetus to our growth. So that can be an opportunity, and we need to see that in the budget. But I think they will basically, maybe try and keep the exchange in a narrow band and manage the inflows. So whatever we have, I think we need reserves. $600 billion, is okay for the economy of our size. So I don't expect any, very serious measures.